Hey guys, what is up? Casper here, bringing you another video. This one, a little more different, not my average collection update, as you've seen before. But today I will be instating a multi-part series called Balisongs for Basics. And generally we're going to discuss everything to get into butterfly knives, starting from the very minimum, going up to advanced stuff, excluding tutorials because, God, my old name was Bad Flipper for a reason. But yeah, today we'll be discussing the best Balisongs for around or under $50. Now, I could have done a video on $20 knives, but honestly, there's only one that's worth it for $20 or less. But today I decided $50 and I've gotten all my knives out that are right around $50 and or less, and we're going to discuss which ones I decide are the best for people to begin off with. Now, going under $50 as a beginning, I wouldn't really do it, but over $50 is much better, especially with a couple new knives that are out that I'm trying to get my hands on. Actually, they're mostly trainers, but we're just going to call them all Balisongs because it's all part of the same hobby. Now, to get started, there are knives that will get you laughed at, and there are knives that won't. Let's go over the knives that will get you laughed at first. CCCs. So let's move these out of the way. Let's get the CCCs out. And the Csgo Knife. Let's talk about these. These are the ones that you will find at your local swap meets, Army Navy stores, or CSGO websites. These are absolute trash. By any means necessary, I would not suggest getting one of these at all. They will break. They will die on you just like everything else, but in a much more timely fashion. So I would not suggest getting these at all. This is like $5 at an Army Navy store. This one's like 13, and this one's 50. This is an Elemental Knives CSGO vanilla. It's an older one. Thing weighs quite literally a ton. It's a heavy knife. It's about a pound. It's way too heavy, and one of the worst things that you could ever have is curved handles. So these super exaggerated curved handles are terrible, and the little finger groove is absolutely god awful. Now, this one right here isn't as bad as these two. I will take this one over these two. The downside of this one is the cheap metal, and its looks are shit, but it's just oddly shaped. Really is. It's an oddly shaped knife. But, you know, it's whatever. You can kind of deal with it, and the handles are a little short, but it's overall not the worst out of all of them. And if you had to get one, I would say stay away from any that have pins instead of screws. I don't think autofocus is going to work, but these screws will make it easier. Obviously, you need tools to tighten it if it does get loose. I've had this one for a couple of years. It was not my first Bally by any means. My friend got me this for Christmas. I hope it was a joke. But, yeah, that's these ones that will primarily get you laughed at in the Balisong community. It's sad, but it happens. Let's get these pieces of shit out of the way. Let's get into a couple of the cheaper options. And one of these is obviously the clear winner. You have your flip fins, which is a great concept. I believe that the company was going in the right direction for this. Just the shape and the weight is completely off. But they're $5 at my local Walmart. I went and I have two more in the box right here. Proof. They're $5 at Walmart. I picked up a few of them. If my friends want to flip something, I'll give them one new in the box. Now, this is currently under $50, let's just say under 40, because there's a couple over here that are, one's like 40 something and one's 50, but under 20, like right around $20, this is the reigning king. This thing is the BB Barfly. You can pick them up on Blade HQ, Knife Center, or bbbarfly.com. These things are great, but I'm not going to flip it because it is probably the loudest knife in my collection. This thing is ignorantly loud. So if your parents or guardians or whatever you have do not like loud noises, this probably is not for you. But on a side note, the bottle opener works great. Whenever I'm drinking beer, this is the bottle opener I go to. Fuck every other one. That bottle opener is amazing. It flips well. You'll see like almost every flipper in the community probably has owned or does have a BB barfly. You can get them with a bunch of designs on them. You can get them custom. I think you can get like your names on them. And if you really like the bottle opener concept, don't go with something like this. This is cheap. This will break on you instantly. Go with something like this. And there is a upgraded version. I think it's on sale for $70 right now on their website. It's called BB Barfly Pro. But for that price, there's some other knives that I will go over in a future video that might beat it. I don't know. I haven't had my hands on it yet, and I do plan on getting it soon. Now, if you want something that you could take anywhere, looks like a toy, great trainer, this. You'll never get stopped for this other than people might look at you because the flashing lights. You know, that's about all. They might ask you what it is, and you could just tell them what it is, and no one will care. Next up are the ones that I would say would probably be the best for if you want to get serious into butterfly knives. And these are the ones that I know of. There are probably other ones out there. But for $50, these are the two best. They are completely different in every single aspect. But they are both great knives. Or trainers. Most of these are actually trainers. There's only two knives, the CSGO one and a CCC. But this isn't a trainer video. This just happens to be what is around for this price point. Now, this is the Boker Plus trainer. A lot of people compare it to the 51. Honestly, nothing like the 51. And then this is the Squiddy. Now, I love the Squiddy. This is the only trainer I really want to keep in my collection just because it's fun. It's super lightweight. It works. It's amazing. It's smooth. But if I was to get into Balisongs and I wanted something that was closer to a real knife, I probably wouldn't go with this. Don't get me wrong, the length is amazing, has Zen pins. Honestly, I don't care if it has Zen pins or Tang pins. But for the price, like if you get one on the secondary market, like off Reddit, Instagram, or Jersey Devil if you use that, like $30 for this wouldn't be that bad. But honestly, I would suggest probably going for one of these if you could find them. These are much more real weight. They're shorter, yeah, but it's much closer to the weight of like a Replicant or Alpha Beast or something like that. It is a lot heavier, much more substantial than this. And honestly, I hate the latch on it. The latch is probably its worst thing. I love the pocket clip. I love the design. Everything is chamfered nicely, so it's not too bad. The quality control is good. This isn't going to be a review on this knife. But I do like this knife. This knife is great. It's fun to flip. And honestly, you don't need an Alpha Beast to be able to do a quadruple scissor or anything like that. You know, you could do that with these knives. You know, you don't need a replicant. But do I suggest getting one? Yeah, they're better than these by far. But are these bad by any means? No. Now, I haven't beaten this one too much. So I'm not sure how well it will hold up over time, but it does feel pretty sturdy. This one, this is just plastic. This is gonna tank everything. I've thrown it on concrete. I've dropped it. It's been everywhere with me. I flipped this through airports, train stations, malls. I think the only time I've actually ever been pulled over is in a movie theater, and it was just because there was a bunch of cops there, and one of the employees are just like, "Hey, are those cops here for you? Because it looks like you're flipping a knife." That's about all. The only time I've been pulled over with this, but I would highly suggest either one of these. If you have less than $50 and you have $20, go with the Big Mama. Go with this one. This is your best bet, like really $20 or less. But if you have less than $10, you're like a kid out there selling lemonade at 5 cents a cup after you hand squeezed a bunch of freaking lemons, then go with that. Why? Because this, you know, you'll probably get made fun of a little bit in the community, but honestly, it's not a clone, it's not a CCC, it's just a really lightweight toy. Nobody can bash on you for owning a toy. I own a few of them. But yeah, currently, these are the three that I would say go with. This one is actually probably the closest to a real Bally, Like, I'm talking about, a good one. Weight-wise, the balance is a little off, but it's still great for 20 bucks. It's loud, very loud. If you want something that's closer to a real Bally, in, like, dimension-wise and more flipping characteristics, this one, if you want something to mess around with and is really easy to use, Squiddy. This thing is super easy to use. Great for beginners. It's just really light, and it's easier to go from a heavy knife to a lighter knife than it is from a lighter knife to a heavy knife. That's just how it is. It's how I've experienced it, and that's just how it's gonna be. So for 50 bucks, this is, again, what I suggest. These 3 knives right here, no more, no less. It just happens that they're all trainers. If a live blade happens to come out for 50 bucks, I will gladly make a video on that if it's good. If it's a shitty CCC, then it's not going to get my attention. It has to be, pretty good. But good luck finding these in stock. These are pretty easy to find. I know you can find them on Amazon sometimes. And then Squid's website, he drops every week. Every weekend, I think on Saturdays. And these stay in stock for about 24 to 36 hours, so they're pretty easy to get your hands on. These you can find everywhere. These are so easy. bbbarfly.com, bladehq.com, and I think Knife Center, I'm not sure, but they'll all have these. They'll have them in a bunch of different colors. They'll have them they're tanks. They're great beaters. Even if you have one of these and you just want something to really beat and not destroy these, this is still a good option. But as everyone else will say, if you have the money and you have a way of income, it's better to get one of these. A replicant or an Alpha Beast or a 51 or bare bones or something like that. Get something like that if you have income. But if you don't, these are good. Now, I appreciate everybody for coming out and watching. I really do. My last video got like 600 and something views by the time of recording this. And I'm really appreciative over that, given the fact that my last channel had like 2,500 subscribers and I was only netting a couple hundred views. But yeah, again, I really appreciate everyone coming out. Don't forget, this is a multi-part series. A couple other ones that I will be going through are tools you need, tools and lubricant. Balisongs for $100, because over $100, I would suggest being over entry, like over beginner, more kind of intermediate. Under $100 is beginner. So I will be making another video on that once I get a couple more knives. And the anatomy of a Balisong. I am going to make that an anatomy and brief history of Balisongs. And that will be probably a 3 or 4 part series, Balisong basics. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, if you guys show a lot of love and support, I will record more, because currently finding the time for this is a pain in the ass. But if you guys do show support, I will put more time aside and do this as quick as possible. Because honestly, I would love to do YouTube and keep this going, make good quality videos. And yeah, so again, I'll see you guys later. See ya.